Well, welcome to Practical Magic, our class on psychic self-defense. So, we're going to learn some basic energy work tonight, and how to shield, and how to banish, and how to protect ourselves from negative energy or psychic attack. A note on psychic attack, just to start with. About 80% or 90%, I think, of what people claim is psychic attack usually isn't. It's actually very uncommon for people to attack you energetically. It does happen. And sometimes there's unintentional attacks. This is what I call them, right? For instance, there was a time when our family, part of our family, who are very Christian with a particular viewpoint, and of course everybody knows by now, if you've been watching the videos and whatnot and taking the classes, that we're Wiccans, right? So they would pray for us to see the light of God and have a conversion, right? Well, this is a form of indirect psychic attack because it is attacking our free will, right? And wanting to sway it with their free will because they believe they know what's best for us. There's a good lesson in this. Oh, yeah, and it caused a whole bunch of really unfortunate bad luck in our life at the time, actually, and things that we were trying to do. I'm sure they thought that would have been great if they'd known about this, but, you know, things that we were trying to do in terms of getting our Wiccan stuff done was constantly running into obstacles. We found this very difficult and frustrating. Right? The lesson in this is, do not violate somebody else's free will. Just because you think you know what's good for them doesn't mean that it is. So, now, I don't know. Why don't we start with, let's see, what should we start with? It's a big subject, so how do you know that you're being psychically attacked? Let's start with that, I think. Okay, first things first. Look at your own life and think, can this be my crap coming into it? Consider whether or not there's a lesson that you're not getting. That's a good starting point, because sometimes there is, and things that feel like psychic attacks aren't. A lot of things happened, for instance, to spur me to leave the miserable job that I had before I bought the shop. Right? I thought it was, just bad luck allying against me, but it actually was just my crap because the job was bad for me. It was psychically harmful because I took a lot of abuse at work, and it was in my best interest to not be in that job anymore. But I was reluctant to leave because I had job security, I had seniority, I'd been there longer than anybody else. I wasn't making good money, but I wasn't making minimum wage either. And so I didn't want to leave. I could take whatever days I wanted off, pretty much. There were lots of reasons not to leave. It was just that I hated it. That's all. So, I don't know. Yeah. So, I don't know. Where do you guys think we should start, other than the idea? Right. How to recognize you're being psychically attacked. So check that out first. Okay? Consider whether or not it can be your own crap. The next thing is, do you feel like particular things have been thwarted? That's another thing, right? If there's something specific that you're trying to accomplish and it is continually thwarted, or if there's a recurring theme to the things that are going awry. For instance, I don't know, maybe you're having trouble communicating with others. Maybe it seems like your efforts to communicate are always being almost deliberately understood, or misunderstood rather, and that there's hostility directed towards what you're saying, even though it's, you really don't mean any harm. Okay, also you consider your tone of voice. That's another thing to consider in that, but yeah, you gotta balance it. So, I don't know, I guess the big thing is reality check, right? Talk to your friends, go, do you think it's me? Or, You know, I've had this big run of bad luck. You know, this stuff has happened. Am I doing something wrong? You know?
So it's a process of elimination.
Exactly.
And you eliminated all other probable
Whatever's left
reason.
however improbable must be the truth.
That's right. Yeah.
Rorschach's razor.
Yes. Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. So then, how do you defend yourself if you are being psychically attacked? Or if you're being inadvertently psychically attacked? That is another thing.
That's a big thing to remember, is that most psychic attacks are not deliberate. People don't generally set out to mess with you psychically. You know, there are things like that instance, people praying for you, right? Or psychic vampires.
Yeah, actually,
Or
that's
just-
an interesting phenomenon.
Just leeching your energy as you sit there. And
Have you guys ever had that experience where you've met someone and you've come in and they've talked to you for a while and, you know, they seem nice and you're having a good conversation and then they leave and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I feel like I've been run over by a train.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I don't know.
No?
No?
Maybe sometimes. Not that I recall.
Some people are psychic vampires. Some of them do it intentionally. Most do not. They draw energy from the people around them to feed their own energy. Now, that's one thing I should explain. I think that there's a lot of energy exchange in the course of just normal interaction. If you're having a meaningful conversation with somebody, you are exchanging energy with them. But when it's all give on one person's part and no receive, then that drains your resources.
Magic, magic, magic. If you use your